Welcome back inside the podcast studio known as The Forum. I'm Will Hogendijk, your host for When in Rome, Eat as the Romans Do. And with me today, I have the Senate, When in Rome's top food critics. Starting with my left, we'll do some introductions, and then I'll tell the viewers a little bit about what we'll be reviewing today.
Yes, thank you, Will. I'm Grant Stubbs. Hello to all you people out here. Hope you enjoy this episode. It's going to be a great one.
Good morning. My name is Tristan, and we are eating sushi in the morning, so you don't have to.
Hey, I'm Amelia Daniels, and I'm honestly really terrified to be here this morning, but I'm excited to try some new food.
Hey guys, I'm Kate Dempsey, and I am so excited to try the sushi.
So as you can see, today's episode is a little bit different as we're live on video. And today we're reviewing and deciding what is the best sushi in Rome, Georgia. So the two restaurants that we'll be tasting today are Bluefin and Rock and Roll Sushi. And we ordered 2 rolls from each place, attempting to order one traditional roll and one that's more unique to the restaurant. And I'll pass it along the table for some introductions.
All right, so we are going to start with the Rome roll, and that is the roll with the orange eggs on top. It has shrimp tempura, which is fresh shrimp lightly fried in airy batter, and spicy tuna topped with masago, which are those eggs that I had mentioned earlier. This roll is from Bluefin, which is right close to Buffalo Wild Wings and Jersey Mike's, and it has been in Rome for a while now. So
That's right, and price comes in at $11.50. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the roll? I can, right off the bat, definitely tell that there is a little bit of spice to it. Not too bad, but what do you guys think?
You know, I thought it was pretty good for the setting that we're in right now and how we're doing this. I was a little nervous, but I think this is going to be a great day of sushi.
Amelia, is there anything that really works about the ingredients of this roll for you?
I like the spicy tuna. I feel like that plays off the textures well. I'm pleasantly surprised, so
Okay.
praise God.
Grant, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the tuna is a perfect kick. I'm a spice guy, so that was really, really good. It was a great start at 9:30 in the morning, and I'm excited for more.
Kate, what do you feel about the spice this early?
I enjoyed it. I like the spicy tuna. I think the eggs have a little pop, add some texture, which is nice.
To go off of that, I don't know how much of a fan I was of the pop.
I do like it looks like almost some orange, what is it, rock pops? Is that like the candy?
Pop rocks.
Pop rocks.
Ooh,
That
yes.
was
Almost
that
reminds
was
me of
very wrong.
Nemo a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Presentation is definitely nice.
It could be,
And creative.
But
That's right, it
it
could be.
was a beautiful roll. I
Yeah.
will say that. Like, I feel like that helps the pleasantness of it because it looks really good and well done. And I
Yeah.
feel like if it was fresh from the restaurant, it would be even better too.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Tristan, you want to tell us about the next roll that we're going to try, the Tokyo roll?
Yeah, so this Tokyo roll is a California roll with cream cheese topped with barbecue eel. Barbecue eel. I'll say it again. And so we decided to go with one traditional roll and then one roll that's kind of out there. So
What do we think?
okay. You know, it had like a sweet first taste. And then I think like the cream cheese balances it out and kind of makes it like, I don't know, like salty, but it's not what I was expecting, I don't think.
Yeah, the barbecue is definitely like I was thinking like Sweet Baby Ray's, like, you know, that's kind of what it felt like. And then you get the cream cheese, and I put some soy sauce on mine. And so it like evened out.
I'd say you had salty and sweet then, right?
Yeah, praise God.
I do think it was really good straight off the bat. I do like I agree with what Kate said. I feel like you can really feel the balance right off the bat. When you see barbecue eel on the paper, the menu, you could probably be a little skeptical about what you're about to eat. But I really liked it. I did also think that the cream cheese balanced really well with that barbecue flavor in the eel, and so that was good stuff.
I would say it did taste good, but one thing for me is the texture. got a little squishy. So I thought it tasted great, though. And I'm glad we're here doing this because I never thought I'd be eating eel. So this has been a great experience so far.
Yeah, it was a little chewy. Like, I was like, okay, keep
Yes.
chewing.
Yeah,
You got
it
it.
I was gonna say, Kate, we chose this one as the more kind of out there or unique roll. Do you think it lived up to the expectations? But also talk about the eel flavor, because that's definitely one of the, I think, probably the most unique thing we're trying today.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the eel flavor, it compared to most fish, it definitely is more fishy. Like you can definitely taste that it was in the ocean, which some people really enjoy in sushi. It's not my preference, but I didn't dislike it, if that makes sense. And I think it was nice that it was paired with barbecue because then it's not just
It's a familiar flavor.
right. Yeah.
Because I think for all of us, we were all talking about eel is not something we've had before. So it's kind of weird to talk about or describe a food that you've never really tried. So having something like the barbecue is a little bit familiar, so then it helps you out. But I mean, Amelia, to what you were saying, I did like how it was a little bit sweet. I thought it tasted good. I don't feel like that's what you traditionally get with sushi, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was almost like I'm a big wing guy, so I enjoy like honey barbecue, and it kind of gave me a little hint of that off the bat. So
Okay.
it was delightful.
Delightful. Okay. Any other thoughts on the rolls from Bluefin before we get into rock and roll? Okay. Well, that's all been quite interesting, and I'm curious to hear how rock and roll sushi compares. And you guys can go ahead and start eating. And Amelia, if you want to tell us about the first roll from rock and roll.
Yeah, so the first roll feels like our safe roll out of all 4 of these, and it is called the Japanese bagel roll, which has smoked salmon and cream cheese inside. So definitely less things inside the roll. So I'll be curious to see and hear what you guys think of it.
All right, so as the first one from rock and roll, as you guys are eating it, what are your thoughts? As Amelia said, fewer ingredients, a little more plain. Is that good?
You know, this roll is definitely more plain, but you can taste the smoked salmon or tuna.
It's salmon.
I was right the first time. The smoked tuna, which I really like. It was really salmon. Oh my gosh, the smoked salmon. I
Tuna
really
was the
liked
first
it. Like, you know, I think I expected it to not really have much flavor, but because that salmon is smoked, like it brings out a lot of flavor.
I definitely agree with you. Looking at it, it looks the most plain, but I think that honestly was the best tasting roll we've had so far because of maybe the cream cheese and the smoked flavor, but I really enjoyed that one.
Well, and Grant, to what Tristan is saying, I mean, we read the descriptions for the 2 from Bluefin, and even this next one we have for rock and roll, they have a lot of ingredients. So is there something that you like about the simplicity of it that you can enjoy the fewer flavors more?
I mean, I think cream cheese just pairs really well with, I guess, any sushi in general. And so I think, especially for someone that may not like sushi or just like, I guess,
Is new to it?
right,
Yeah.
that I think it's kind of a perfect, more basic roll. It's the safer option. Just, you know, the salmon with just the cream cheese, because it did taste like heavy on the cream cheese, and if you like that, then you'll definitely like that roll. So it's still really good.
Amelia, you were very brave in trying these rolls. What is your thoughts on the Japanese bagel roll?
I felt like the salmon was really chewy for me, and I'm a like texture person, and it felt very meat heavy, like, which makes sense because it's just salmon.
Right.
But I was like, if you aren't fond of just like a meat with like a little cream cheese, this may not be your favorite one.
Yeah. Well, and the salmon that you've tried before has probably been cooked. Obviously, this is sushi grade, so it's different in that sense.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
just a little bit of different getting used to.
Yeah.
Kate, any thoughts on the Japanese bagel roll?
I will say, I think something I was expecting was some like sesame seeds on top,
I agree.
especially with it being called the bagel roll. Like, it feels like they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah. Well, because they have that like everything but the bagel seasoning. Yeah. So when we had ordered it, because we just looked at their menu and saw they didn't have any pictures on the Bluefin one, whereas Rock and Roll did. Or wait, this is Rock and Roll. Just kidding. Rock and Roll did have pictures, but yeah, I had expected it to come with bagel seeds or something on top, but still good.
Yeah.
Okay, Grant, break down our final roll for us as we
Yes.
dive in.
Of course. So we have the rock lobster roll. Lobster and cucumber inside, topped with layered avocado, sriracha, tobiko, which is, we have in parentheses here, fish eggs. That's exciting. There's crunchy flakes, sesame seeds, and then their house-made ginger sauce. And so, as we've hit on in the past couple podcasts, Tristan is a big sauce guy. So he is going to make sure and let us know how that is. He's got a lot of sauce over there on his plate.
He was preparing a soy sauce and wasabi concoction before, but I will say, unfortunately, the house-made ginger sauce did spill out of the container a little bit, which I think is just part of us getting it last night. But it did still come through. Tristan, how did it come through for you?
I think it did. This was easily the most nerve-wracking roll we had, and I honestly think it tasted the best. Mm-hmm. The sweet ginger sauce with all the other combination of flavors. I mean, I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the also like crunch of the cucumber paired really well with the flavors, and because cucumber also is like more basic. I just think like flavor-wise, texture-wise, this roll works really well.
I agree. Amelia, I know you were a little bit nervous to try lobster, and that was your first time. So what do you think?
Honestly, I think as someone who doesn't eat sushi, who isn't super fond of fish, I think the more complicated and complex sushi rolls have been better than the more simple ones. So I would encourage people to try maybe the more bold flavors and maybe more unique combinations because it tastes really good.
Yeah. And then before we move on to start comparing them, I have came up with an interesting question for just the rock and roll sushis. They have a tagline on their website that says Sushi Amplified. Do you guys feel like these two rolls, or one in particular, really lived up to that motto?
I think so. I thought it was really good. I love the lobster, and I think especially with the barbecue eel, I know that was from Bluefin, but I'm starting to realize that I think I like some sweetness to the sushi. Mm-hmm. And since I really love lobster, that last roll definitely won me over. And so I think, and I never had rock and roll sushi before, and I really like sushi. So those two rolls kind of got me hooked in to want to try some more.
Tristan, would you say this is Sushi Amplified?
I would say the lobster roll was very amplified. I mean, I never thought I'd be eating fish eggs, let alone some sushi this early in the morning. But I think it is amplified. I thought it was great.
Kate, Amelia?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think even with the most basic roll, that bagel roll, it is sushi amplified because you have that immediate kick of flavor in the smoked salmon. Sorry. And then the lobster roll.
No worries.
Just like the kick in all the flavors was really great.
Amelia, any thoughts on Sushi Amplified, or should we get into the comparisons?
I think let's get into the comparisons.
All right. Well, like I said, now that we have tried and talked about everything, let's break down what we liked based on the different restaurants. What restaurant had the better rolls? Who would like to get us started on that, Kent?
Yeah, I can do it. And I mean, it may have something to do with us. This is the most recent roll that we tried, but I think Tristan and I possibly are on the same boat here. I don't want to speak too soon for him, but I mean, it's tough to beat that rock lobster roll, the most recent one we had. And so I really enjoyed the ones from Rock and Roll. I think I'm probably favoring that side a little bit. But I will say for the first two rolls starting us out this morning from Bluefin, I did really like them. I think that they had a great mixture of cream cheese in that I think worked really well with all the other ingredients in there. And so I think I enjoyed both of them, but I'm probably leaning more towards Rock and Roll at the moment.
Tristan, did Grant give you an accurate summary of your thoughts too?
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. So for the Rock and Roll, I'd say I definitely like those rolls better. And for the Bluefin, I thought the rolls tasted good, but their texture was a little less dense and a little more soggy for those two rolls. But I still thought they tasted great for all four rolls, but I think I'd have to get the edge to Rock and Roll Sushi, which Also, my first time having rock and roll sushi as well.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up an interesting point because you said that they were less dense, which obviously we ordered these yesterday. So which rolls do you guys feel like held up better overnight? I mean, not that you're going to be generally eating sushi like this, but I mean, it's worth talking about since that's how we got them.
I think the rock and roll sushi held up better. I think especially in the rice, the bluefin sushi, the rice was almost more stale. I guess is how I would describe it. Maybe rock and roll used fresher rice and that overnight kept like better than bluefin.
Amelia, did you have a favorite roll out of the 4?
I would say the rock lobster roll or the Rome roll. I would say those were my 2 favorites. I would say the barbecue eel was just a different texture, and then the salmon was just a different texture. I would say probably that's just what prevented me from enjoying those the most.
Yeah, which seafood generally takes some getting used to no matter what it is. And we tried, I think we got crab, tuna, salmon, lobster, and
Eel.
shrimp and eel. So we got a lot in today, and that was pretty impressive.
In 4 bites.
4 bites, that's true. Kate, what was your favorite roll of the day?
I think my favorite was the rocked lobster roll from Rock and Roll Sushi. I think that all the flavors paired really well. There was a kick in the sriracha and then also a sweetness. And then like even texture-wise, it all worked.
Well, I think that's a clean sweep because I was going to say rock lobster roll is my favorite as well. And I thought about what you said, Amelia, about I believe it was the Rome roll with, the Tokyo roll with the barbecue eel. But it had the sweetness, but then I think the rock lobster also had sweetness that I really liked, and the other 2 didn't. So I think I would put the barbecue eel one as my second favorite. And as far as price-wise, we'll talk about that too. Both of them were just over $27, and so I think that's about $13 to $15 per roll. Do you guys feel like that's pretty fair for what you tried today?
I thought it was pretty fair. I mean, you got to think of all the different flavors, combinations of stuff, and seafood that we're trying. I thought it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I agree, and it's not like we're just getting 1 or 2, I guess, rolls for that specific price. Like it's feeding all of us too. So I do think it's pretty fair. And Tristan brings up a great point about how much is in a lot of these rolls in general. So yeah.
I think I'm more likely to spend that money on rock and roll sushi than bluefin, but I do think it is a fair price for sushi in general because it tends to be more expensive.
Yeah. Well, and again, talking about all the different seafood that we tried today, I mean, we got a pretty wide range for what we paid. I think it was $11 for each of us when we split the cost. And I think that's a common theme that we found even throughout this whole podcast is that splitting the cost of food with friends makes for a really good time. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
Great memories.
Well, do you guys have any other thoughts on the rolls or the series as a whole before we wrap up?
Should we give the camera a visual of these?
That is a
sushi
great
rolls?
idea, Tristan. I think that would be Scarlett's camera. If you want to see if you can get a good shot of the sushi. Oh, thank you, Grant. Our hand model, Grant.
Awesome.
I do this on the side, actually.
But I'd also
Little turn.
say, as we've tried so many different cuisines of food over the past few weeks, it's cool to expand your palate and to be nervous and try new things because you might surprise yourself at how much you do like when we tried Indian food or even Mexican food that a lot of us eat regularly. It's cool to explore and try new things rather than just staying in your regular palate.
Yeah, well, and I think our viewers could probably pick up that Tristan and Amelia were our more non-adventurous eaters, but I'm glad to hear you say that, Amelia. And Tristan, do you have anything to add on just how you've expanded your palate? I mean, I see an empty plate over there, so.
My plate is empty. I mean, I'm not big on sushi, and I thank my friends here who pushed me forward to, step out of my comfort zone and eat this stuff. And we've made great memories and great friends out of this, so I'd say the whole experience was definitely worth it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I think that's a wrap on today's episode of When in Rome. And as we were saying, it's been a great season of tasting and reviewing all the unique flavors and cuisines that make up Rome, Georgia. And we find that there's great value in the diversity of food and culture, as well as trying new things and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And so we've grown in our appreciation for the community that sharing a meal brings. And we thank you for having us as your Senate and remind you that when in Rome, eat as the Romans do.